Hey everyone, so today I'm going to tell you whether I like the Wahoo TICKR better or the Garmin HRM-Pro better. Um, I've been wearing the Wahoo TICKR for uh, 7 months, for about 7 months, almost every day. I've gotten to know this heart rate monitor quite well. The Garmin HRM-Pro I've been wearing for about 3 weeks, so still learning everything, but I think I've worn it long enough to be able to decide whether I like it or not. So I should caveat that the Garmin HRM-Pro is their highest top of the line heart rate monitor versus the Wahoo TICKR is their entry level. So obviously this one's going to have certain things that this one's not going to have just because it's more advanced. But there are kind of fundamental things about both heart rate straps that applies across all of their models that I think one is better than the other. So I'll kind of go through those here and tell you why I like one better than the other. First, I guess I'll go through the specs of the two heart rate monitors. So the Garmin is 2.1 ounces and the Wahoo is 1.7. So pure weight, the Wahoo wins by a little bit. In terms of size, so the Wahoo is a little bit bigger than the Garmin, but it's also a little bit thinner if you look at the side-by-side profile. So the TICKR has, I think last I saw, it has three different models. It has the TICKR, which is this one. It comes in white and stealth gray. It's kind of a base entry-level heart rate monitor. It keeps track of your heart rate, does what it's supposed to do, and really no bells and whistles on top of that. This retails for about 50 bucks. There's a TICKR X that retails for 80, which I think is more comparable to the Garmin HRM-Pro. It has running dynamic metrics, which is kind of the big thing. And that one retails for around 80 bucks. For Garmin has a bunch of different heart rate monitors, but their base level one is the HRM Dual, which comes in at 70 bucks. There's an HRM Run, and then there's HRM Pro. So even Garmin's entry level heart rate monitor is almost as expensive as Wahoo's high end heart rate monitor. So obviously this Pro here retails for 130 bucks. It's got a lot more information. They say you can wear it occasionally in the pool. So I don't think it likes chlorine as much. I think if you do a lot of swimming, there's a separate HRM swim or something like that where you can use dedicated for swimming. In terms of how you put on the strap, the Wahoo has two buttons in the back, and all you do is you button one side, and then you wrap it around your chest and you button the other side like that. The Garmin, on the other hand, has a loop. So I don't know if you can tell, there's a loop here, and then there's a hook here. So you kind of wear it on the side and you hook it like this, and then you have to kind of like shimmy it over to the middle. So actually I find in terms of ease of wearing, the Wahoo wins. It's just really easy. You hold it, you snap it, and then that's it. You're ready to go. Whereas you can't really do that with the Garmin. It's almost impossible to hook it off to your backside like that. So you really have to hook it, so I try to hook it like around here, and then you just have to shimmy it a little bit. But the first time I hooked it here, and it took me like a solid 60 seconds to shimmy it all the way across because it is pretty tight. Another difference between the two is the strap for the Wahoo is completely malleable. So there's a pad here and a pad here that keeps track of your heart rate, but then everything else is just a piece of nylon, cloth. So you can bunch it up like this. Versus the Garmin, from here to here, so the two heart rate pads, this is a stiff piece of plastic inside. So you can't really bunch it up. The most you can do is kind of like wrap it around like this, and then starting from after the patch, then it's all nylon. You can kind of bunch it up. So it's a little bit stiffer. I don't know if one's better than the other. It's just different. Like this one's got that stiff plastic across. This one also has this tab here. And I thought when I first got it, I was like, oh, that's totally gonna, once you strap in, that's totally gonna like get caught in your skin and irritate your whatever. And I thought maybe you could rip it off, but it's part of the the heart rate pad. So I don't think you can take this off. But I've worn it for 3 weeks. It hasn't been an issue. I haven't noticed like it chafing me back there or anything. So I assume that was product tested because that seems pretty fundamental to a heart rate monitor to have this big piece of plastic just hanging out there. It hasn't been an issue. So at first I was concerned, but ultimately it wasn't really a big issue. So in terms of accuracy, they were both pretty accurate. I will say that when I first got the Wahoo, I wore it for maybe 2-3 weeks, and I noticed that there were some runs where the heart rate data was just completely bananas. Let me pull up the Garmin data to show you guys. So you can see here, this was a tempo run that I did back in January, 7 miles, pretty fast, pretty high effort. But if you look at the top line where the blue is, that's my pace. So it's pretty even, pretty steady. And if you look at the red line, the second line, that's my heart rate data. So it's all over the place. I even just warm. So my max heart rate is 190, around 190. In my warm up, I'm at 179. And even before I start my tempo pace, I'm at 179. And then out of the blue, it dropped to 140, back to 170. And then as I'm doing my effort, 626 per mile pace, 617, it drops to 150. And then back up to 180. So my pace has no bearing on the heart rate. So clearly something's not right. So here's another example. This was 4-miler, easy run, 730 pace. The pacing's pretty even, pretty steady. But look at the heart rate. It's all over the place. It dropped to 100 at one point. And then as you can see, it's just all over the place. So the weird thing was sometimes it was accurate and sometimes it would do that. After like the 5th time it did that, I kind of got fed up. So I emailed Wahoo. To their benefit, they did mail me out a replacement strap, after I explained to them what was the issue. So the warranty department was good. The replacement strap has not been an issue. I haven't had that happen since I got the replacement strap. But I did have to get a warranty replacement. So I think that's a negative right there for Wahoo. The other thing is, and this is kind of a small thing, you guys have already seen this. What's up with that? So it's already kind of wearing down. It's not even been a full year. To be fair to Wahoo, I put this heart rate monitor through its paces. Like I said, I wear it. I train 5 to 6 days a week, so I wear it 5 to 6 days a week. I wear it when it's freezing cold. I wear it when it's raining. I wear it when it's 90 degrees. I've been through 2 bike accidents. I got sunblock on it. But still, I mean, like, you couldn't have something more durable than that? Like, what's up with that? That just seems low quality to me. Kind of disappointing. The other issue I have with Wahoo, with the strap itself, is it feels like it's slipping. So I find that so the adjustment mechanism is pretty straightforward. There are these 2 things, and you pull it this way to make it looser and this way to make it tighter. I have to adjust this strap every time I use it. So meaning, I guess what that means is as I'm wearing it, it stretches out a little at a time so that if I wear it the next time, it's loose. And sometimes it literally just falls, slips down. I first got it and learning to use it, it was an issue. Like, I just felt like it was slipping off when I would go on my runs. And then I figured out that, okay, before every run, I need to tighten it just a little bit. It will have loosened a little bit. So I learned that, okay, it has to be tightened every time you wear it. But to have to tighten this every time you wear it got kind of annoying. And I think that's a huge flaw for the Wahoo TICKR. But it did serve me well for 6-7 months of intense use. So, you can't get you can't get any Garmin heart rate monitor for $50. So if price is your most important variable, then Wahoo is the way to go. For quality, long-term use, I think Garmin is where I would go. To be fair to Wahoo, I haven't used this for 7 months. So who knows? Maybe after 7 months, all the yellow is going to start fading and whatnot. But I haven't had any slippage issues with the Garmin after 3 weeks. I don't have to adjust the tightness ever. Um, I would think the strap um, is the same across all the Garmin heart rate monitors. So I think the strap alone gives Garmin the edge. It is more expensive, even if you get the entry level Garmin. So, like I said, if price is your most important variable, I will go with Wahoo. But if you're willing to spend a little bit more money, I think Garmin is the better strap. One of the other issues I had with Wahoo is the battery life after like 4 or 5 months. So the battery changing is pretty easy. You just put a coin in there, turn it, pop out the battery, pop it back in. The first battery lasted 4 months, like a while. I put in a replacement battery. That one lasted like maybe 2 months or 6 weeks. Then the third battery only lasted like 3 weeks. And then I just replaced the battery like 2 weeks ago, and I got an alert saying slow battery again. I don't know if it's actually the battery's actually running out quicker, or if there's some kind of issue with the notification. But that has been an issue. I haven't gotten enough use out of the Garmin to know whether it'll drain the battery more quickly as it gets older. So maybe I'll post an update 7 months into using this. Those are my thoughts in terms of whether the Wahoo or the Garmin heart rate monitor is better. My vote is for the Garmin, notwithstanding the fact that it's the pro version versus the entry level Wahoo. I think if I had to do it all over again, I would just get the pro right away, or I would just get the HRM Run, because if you're training a lot, you're wearing it literally every day. Having a more robust monitor is just better in the long run. So anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'll see you guys next time.